This is your 2020 Nissan Sentra, all new for the 8th generation. Been here since 1982, almost as old as me. Let's go Quirks, Perks, and Irks. So I have the top trim SR Premium. So you get the slightly tinted V-Motion grille, looks absolutely gorgeous. You have LED fog lights at the bottom, LED boomerang day runners, and you get these really cool thin lens LEDs for your headlights with the SR Premium package. So it just looks really sharp. Love the turn signals as far as a perk goes. 7 bulbs, all in unison. I just think it's a really nice upscale move that Nissan did there. And there's all sorts of boomerang motifs throughout the vehicle, and we'll discover more of those as we get through it. Let's take a quick look at the side profile. Beautiful rims. You know how much I like simplicity. So the good old 5 spokes, zero issues with that. 18 inches, looks beautiful. Now, there is a floating roof design, and it's in the right spot, but the problem is Nissan Canada spec'd this with a black roof, so you can't really see the floating roof design line. It's there, but with a regular colored roof, or sorry, a non-black colored roof, you notice it a whole lot more. You get LED turn signals integrated into the side mirrors, and you have a black mirror cap as opposed to a body colored mirror cap. Little design line here, more boomerang. They could have just cut it off straight, but I think that Nissan intentionally did that to make it just that much more attractive, and it works for me. And I love that this little button to open the door is not black. Love that they spent the extra few cents and made it body colored. Really nice touch there. So I'll back up a touch, and a bit of a quirk for me is you see that chrome trim along the windows, and it spikes up a little bit. Again, another boomerang motif. It's a black trim across the top, so not that it looks unfinished, just to me it looks like, I don't know, I would have rather had the entire thing chrome or none of it chrome and all be black. But you know, that's just my 2 cents on that. I love the side profile. It's so good, and it's so modern, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Let's take a look around to the rear. Just before we do, we'll take a quick stop at the floating roof line. So that's it there, and if this was a different color, you'd notice it, and it would look just that much more impactful. So here's your rear. My problem is there's only one tailpipe, and it's a pretty thick tailpipe, but I wish they would have put another one. Even a dummy one would have been fine for me. Really sharp design as far as the rear lights go. Just the entire rear end looks just really sharp. I don't care that it's halogen turn signals in the rear. Not that big of a deal for me. Again, this isn't an Infiniti, it's a Sentra, but it's a very premium vehicle. So let's take a quick peek into the trunk. One touch open, and fair amount of space. I'll put the cargo figures on the screen, and yes, the seats flip down 60/40. You can see that split right there. All right, let's close her up and end up with a rear quarter look. Let's take a look at the rear seats of the all-new Sentra. So pretty comfortable seats as far as the outside 2 passengers go. It doesn't matter what car you're in, the middle passenger is going to be a little cramped. As far as leg space goes, I'm sitting all the way back, and there's a little bit of space here, fairly decent amount. But if you push your seat all the way forward as a passenger in the front seat, your rear passengers will have plenty of leg space to be comfortable with. That's your cup holders, comes down, doubles as an armrest. Pulling your seats down is nice and easy. You pull up, you see red, and you just slide it down. Yes, this little bracket part here is the same on the passenger side, but there's still plenty of available pass-through to get any longer and larger items in the vehicle. Give you a quick look over beside the headrest. It looks really sharp, really nice up front. And Nissan wasn't kidding when they said they're doing a full redesign. So let's jump in. I'll give you a quick look here. Let me put the lights off because it's squawking at me. So that's what you see when you're about to enter the 2020 Sentra. Really sharp, really clean, really modern design. Let's start here. Nice orange stitching along the top and the bottom. This has the upgraded 8-speaker Bose premium audio system. Sounds really nice, and this nice kind of carbon fiber pattern. 2 flubs in less than a minute. Jeez, someone will keep them in. All right, let's jump back around to the seats. So thigh bolsters, not bad. Double orange stitching just adds a little bit of finesse to it, but it's the side bolsters. Like, look at how thick those are, and there's a good look at it from that side. And just what I really like is the attention to detail. And they didn't have to put this nice orange, kind of multicolored, multi-shaded orange strip in, but I think it definitely adds to the premium feel of the Sentra. And there's that contrasting little pattern there. So these are not leather seats. They're in fact leatherette seats, and lower models get either cloth or premium cloth seats. So we'll start her up. Start stop button in the new Nissan way is right there. So we'll show you what your graphics are going to look like. A nice little turn off the vehicle and your full cycling off the gauges. I'm going to start with the HVAC system because it is so hot here. It's 30 degrees, so there we go. A bit of a quirk while I'm here. Get the signal off. Most cars go down to 15 or maybe 16 for the temperature. Nissan goes to 18, so a bit of a nice, interesting quirk there. So all of your HVAC controls are so easy to see, to use, to find. No issues there. And let me know if you think these 3 vents, at least the design of it, looks familiar to you. Also a Nissan product. Anyway, looks really, really sharp, and I love the way they've integrated that into the Sentra. Really nice. They've found a way to use the space. So this is just, you know, it's just the passenger airbag sign. Doesn't do anything, but they've tucked in the 4-way flashers here, and I think that's a really nice use of space as opposed to putting it, I don't know, maybe up here or somewhere else. Let's take a look at the 8-inch infotainment screen. Touchscreen, pretty responsive. Nice hard touch buttons along the bottom to get to where you need to be a lot quicker. So let's just take a quick dip into settings, and I know, let's take a look into the clock settings, and let's change 24 to 12. So again, it's very responsive. I like it back at 24, personally speaking. And you know, it's so easy to use. So thank you, Nissan, for making a modern car full of modern amenities. So I don't know, let's go to the camera, for example. This does have the round view monitor, so that's why you're seeing that. And there's an obstacle just over there. So that's your regular backup camera. Yes, your lines do turn with the wheel. And that's, you know, like I said, it's your around view monitor through your camera's front, rear, and on the side mirrors. Let's go back to the menu. And heated seats and heated steering wheel buttons. Nice and easy. 2 stages for your heated seats. I'm putting those off today. Again, very, very hot. Here's what I really like. It's the functionality side of it. Let me get rid of that piece of cat hair. Sorry about that, guys. So you have some power sources here, and you got another one right there. But I like that Nissan, I'm going to flatten the camera for a sec. I like that Nissan has made this so it angles downwards so that anything you have here, whether it's loose change or, you know, something smaller, doesn't have the risk of coming towards you and falling into this cup holder. So really smart move there, Nissan, well done. Couple of cup holders, standard fare. Interesting because they're square shaped. I'm gonna take my bottle of water out to show you. But usually cup holders are round because, well, the bottom of a cup is round. But I think it's an interesting design that they've done. And I like that there's no piano black. Sorry, there's piano black here, no big deal. But the things that you're actually touching often are not piano black. Good job, Nissan, on that one. All right, let's jump to the steering wheel. Kind of mix things up a little bit today. So you do have the flat bottom steering wheel, which is good for ingress and egress. Again, that orange stitching goes throughout. Let me get my feet out of the way of that shot. So it's just a nice premium upscale touch, and you get the nice thin buttons along the bottom, the squares on the inside. Square pieces on the outside, little square on the inside. And it's just a nice, clean, thin look. So I'm really happy with the way that Nissan steering wheel has turned out for the new Sentra. Digital dash in the middle, analogs on the outside. Doesn't matter to me. I don't think the Sentra needs to have a full digital dash, and there's plenty of information you can pull up from here. I'm not going to go through that because I think I've done it for almost every other video, but basically if you do want to do it and just discover it on your own, you just use these buttons. Fine, I'll show you a couple things. So you go down, and you can go over a few, and yeah, so really, really nice there. Now, a little perk, I would call it a quirk and a perk, more boomerang designs, and they could have just gone straight down, but just a little attention to detail. And yes, it's piano black, but you're only touching this part. You're not actually touching the trim, so no matter, right? All right, so dimmer for the dashboard, trip reset, you get your eco mode and your trunk release. Your gas door release is just tucked underneath there. There are no drive modes. Like, there's no sport mode. Yes, there's an eco mode, but that's pretty much it. And usually that would end up being somewhere here, but Nissan has opted to just give us regular and an eco. So I don't have a problem with that. The car performs very well for the class that it is in. You get a dimming rear view mirror with the SR Premium Pack, which is what I have. You get your sunglasses holder, and you get your lights, and nice little sunroof. I don't think it needed to be panoramic, and I'm happy that Nissan made it just the way it is. Plus, you can see how the roof line slopes down, so I don't know if they really could have put a panoramic sunroof in here, even if they wanted to. All right, that's going to wrap up the inside. Not true. Just wanted to point out one more thing. I like this nice gradual line of the double stitching. I know I've gone on about it a few times, but it's really helping to separate it from some of its competitors, just as far as, you know, being an upscale premium looking and feeling vehicle for like under $27,000. Anyways, that's gonna wrap up the inside. And oh, well, sorry, one more thing before I forget. It's an Irk for me. So park, reverse, neutral, drive low, and just when I drive my automatic cars, it's kind of just that's terrible. I pull my gear and I just pull it all the way back, and sometimes I've gone a little too far and popped it into L. I don't really know if they needed to have the L there. I think they could have just gotten away with P, R, N, and D. A cool feature on the new Sentra, in addition to on the gas gauge showing you what side the gas door is on, it also shows you right here when you're low on fuel, little orange arrow shows up. So pretty cool move, Sentra. This is a huge perk for me. Nissan now shows you exactly where your lights are through a graphic on the screen, and you're not only dependent on that, so it keeps your eyes facing forward for a little longer. So I think it's a really cool move. And they also did it with the windshield wipers, so that's a really cool move for me. I really like that. So let's get them. That's your high, that's your medium or low, that's your intermittent, and that's your off. So really cool move there, Nissan, helping to keep drivers more focused on the road. Let's do the drive. 2020 Nissan Sentra, all new, 8th generation. Everybody gets the same engine. That's a 2-liter 4-cylinder, putting out 149 horsepower, 145 pound-feet of torque through a CVT, unless you opt for the S model, which is their base model, and then you get a 6-speed manual. So that's pretty impressive in 2020 that Nissan decided that, you know, someone might want a manual. So good job, Nissan. Very commendable on that side. Let's jump to fuel consumption. So it's a 47-liter gas tank on 87 octane fuel, which is regular stuff. 8.2 in the city and 6.2 on the highway. Blended total is 7.3, and that is all liters per 100 kilometers. A huge perk for the 2020 Nissan Sentra is all of the standard safety features you get. There's a list on that side of the screen, and I'll read some of the highlights out for you. Forward collision warning, intelligent emergency braking, lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, rear intelligent emergency braking, rear sonar, high beam assist, driver alertness, and the rear door alert. Well, I guess I just named them all off for you. The fact that this car starts just under 19,000 and you get all of that is a massive forward shift for Nissan. If you're in the market for a 2020 Sentra and you do opt for the SR Premium, what you're getting over the SR is you're getting the thin lens LED headlights, you're getting leatherette seats, 6-way power seats, you're getting the premium 8-speaker Bose audio system, you got the round view monitor and the automatic dimming rear view mirror. And it's only a couple grand more, at least as of middle of July 2020, it's a couple grand more. So if it was me, I would spec the vehicle just as is. I wouldn't take the orange color. I'd want something that doesn't have a black roof. I think, I don't even know what color I'd get, but I'd want something that highlights that beautiful floating roof design. On the road, the 2020 Sentra fares very well for me. Despite only having 149 horsepower and 145 pound-feet of torque, it feels a lot brisker than that off the line, and when you're kind of going into the middle of your power band. Very pleasantly surprised when I discovered that, and well done Nissan on that side. As far as cornering handling goes, because it's lower and wider by 2 inches compared to the 2019 model, your center of gravity is lower and you feel a lot more planted on the road. And for me, it offers that much more stability when you're taking your twists and turns and bends. And I'm happy that Nissan made the decision for the 2020 Sentra and to make it lower and make it a little wider. The driving feel itself is very, very good, very sturdy. Cabin's very quiet, and if you by chance happen to find the cabin a little on the noisy side, just crank up one of the 8 speakers, actually crank up all the 8 speakers on the premium Bose audio system. The team at Nissan has done a remarkable job in tearing down the 7th generation Sentra and completely building it from scratch to give us what we have for the 8th generation. The styling itself to me is just beautiful. It's modern. There's just enough flair in there to make it attractive without making it overwhelming and overbearing for someone who's looking at it for the first time. Once you step inside the cabin, I think that's where the Sentra really shines. Again, following a very modern theme and minimalistic theme as well. There's not a lot happening, and that's kind of a signature of the luxury brands, right? Like, wow you with luxury, but don't overwhelm you with it. And from the flat bottom steering wheel to the 3 air vents to the easy to use 8-inch touchscreen display, to me the Sentra is the real deal. The compact class has a lot of power players, and they include the Civic, the Corolla, and the Mazda 3, all of which are tremendous vehicles inside and out, and they've earned their reputation. But in defense of the Sentra, Nissan's equipped the Sentra with great looks inside and out, ease of use, a premium cabin, and all of those safety systems that are standard to help buyers maybe migrate over that were considering Civic, Mazda 3, and a Corolla to, take the Sentra out for a spin. That's going to wrap up the review on the 2020 Nissan Sentra. If you've got any questions on the vehicle, let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to get you answers as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the support, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Be well, be healthy, be safe, and I'll be back sooner than later with my next review.